Well, we got 8 minutes on the first one. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So again, um, I'll wait till some people are in here because it's showing nobody's in here yet. Crazy, crazy. Good old YouTube. So we'll give it a minute, guys. It's not, we don't have a lot of people in here. We're starting to get some people in here now. Sorry about that. It's just good old YouTube. So we're going to do take two here. Again, guys, if there is an issue, if this happens again, just please be patient. Wait for me. I will get right back online as soon as I can. So I'm sorry. I don't, it's just games that are being played. They don't like people talking about the truth, I guess. So, that's how it goes. But so anyway, we're back. So we're just going to continue on here. One of the things I was going to mention as well, I was going to talk about this. Right now, Japan is deciding whether or not to quarantine 3,000 people on a cruise ship because one of the passengers tested positive for the coronavirus. Most likely, I would imagine that they probably will quarantine those people because you have no idea who that person came in contact with. Now, they did say that the ship docked in a couple different ports as well. So how much interaction with the public and stuff like that. What we got to remember, guys, with this whole thing is this thing is highly contagious. So that part is an absolute 100% truth. This virus is very, very highly contagious. You can have no signs and symptoms and you are still contagious. So that is frightening. And I want you to think about this. When we talk on a regular basis, like just talking regularly, okay, spittle, believe it or not, does come out of your mouth. And so that is going out all the time when people are talking because we're breathing in oxygen and that moisture is going to come out of your mouth. So just being in regular contact with people, you're going to be interacting with a lot of people, and that's what happens. So the chances of this spreading and this getting worse are, and I love it when they say, well, the risk right now in the United States is very, very low and stuff like that, which is great. Hey, Mountain Girl, take two, stay aware and be vigilant, but don't live in fear or panic. Exactly. Very, very good statement. And thank you very much for that donation as well. Yeah, guys, like I said, don't live in fear and panic. Now is not the time to panic. I mean, like I said, these numbers every single day are rising, as we know. Okay. The numbers with the virus are going up every single day. And again, we have to look at it realistically. Are these the true numbers? Or are the numbers much, much higher? In my opinion, here's the difference between fact and opinion. In my opinion, I think the numbers are much, much higher because of the preventive measures that have gone into place to try to contain this virus, okay? That tells me that it is a lot worse than it really is. What you got to think about, too, economically, let's just go with China. We're not going to go with the rest of the world, but let's just look at economically in China. What this is going to do to the Chinese people as far as you look what happened with their stock market today. They're trying to inject all kinds of cash into their own stock market to try to keep it propped up. You have all kinds of people, you're isolating. Now, I did hear this, and this I don't know if it's true or not. I know that the number has been 50 million for a while. I did hear today that they increased it by another 19 million people. So that would take it up to 69 million people being isolated and quarantined. I don't know if the 19 million is 100% true because I really didn't get lockdown information on that. But let's say it's not. Let's say that's not true. You still have 50 million people that can't go to work. They're isolated in their homes. They're not allowed to leave. I don't know if you guys have seen the video footage of the drone footage of some people that were out on the streets, and they had the drones, and the drones were telling the people, get back home. This is a quarantine. Get home right now. So, I mean, that's no joke. I mean, it's crazy. Realistically, it is absolutely crazy. So we got to really, like I said, we need to be vigilant. You don't stop your life right now. I'm not suggesting that anybody stop their life and do anything different right now. Okay. But I do advise people, and this is my opinion. This part's my opinion. I really, truly believe that we need to prepare to shelter in place in case this thing gets worse. Now, here's the best part of preparing to shelter in place. All right. Let's say this thing blows over and is a big nothing burger, right? This ends up being absolutely nothing other than, how many people have died already in this type of thing. Now, do I think that's the case? I don't. But let's just say it was. Now you have all these supplies that you picked up to make your clean room, to, extra food, freeze-dried food, more canned goods, more rice, beans, or whatever else you decided to put away, more medical supplies. Well, the best part is, if you let's say we'll use freeze-dried food, it's got a 25-year shelf life. So you have this stuff that you now have stocked away for the next emergency, right? You have medical supplies stocked away for the next emergency. You have enough, you got the plastic and all that type of stuff, and you got your duct tape. That's ready for the next emergency. So no matter what you do as far as preparations, as long as you do something, okay, it's not a lose situation. There is no lose in getting ready. So that's one thing I really wanted to tell you guys right off the bat. There is no lose in preparing. Because if this thing blows over, which in my personal opinion, I don't think that it's going to, okay? And again, that's my opinion. I'm not going to sit here and say, this is my opinion and it's 100% fact. I would never do that to you guys because that disrespects you. It disrespects your intelligence for thinking for yourself. What I'm giving you, I'll give you facts that are given to me, and so we will go on those facts. And the fact, like I said, again, that you lock down 50 million people, it's going to take a huge hit for their community over there, for everything that they're doing. All those people are not working. How are they paying their bills? Somebody said to me today in a question, they said, well, how are those people going to pay their rent? That's a great question. And I would be really curious to see what they're going to do with that. And again, how long are they going to keep these people in quarantine? There's another good question over there, because even though this thing has a 2-week incubation period, so how long is it going to be before they say to people, okay, now you can come out of your homes? Now they got to go into these homes and try to find all these dead bodies, because I will guarantee you this, people that were sick that couldn't get to the hospital. I mean, I don't know if you saw some of the videos. They had to get a card to get permission to go, and just craziness. How many dead bodies are going to be in these homes? That's something to think about too. I think, like I said, I truly believe that the number is much, much higher than we are being given. Let's see what we got. Would shelter in place include water and power? If you can do it, yes. You definitely need to have water. There's no doubt about that. If you can have your own power source, that's not a bad idea either, if you can do it. Again, small solar panel, if you put it out the window to charge up, like some, your cell phone or whatever, I mean, those things are absolutely doable. Food has to be a shortage factor for most of the people. You know what? I agree with you 100% on that. I think that they're probably not getting enough food to these folks. And here's the other thing I want you to think about, guys. If we had to shelter in place here in the States, any kind of city or wherever it may be, guys, too, and if you haven't shot a thumbs up yet, I see we're up over 800 people in the chat. If you haven't shot a thumbs up yet, would you do that, please, to show your support for the channel? I absolutely would appreciate that. So if you had a shelter in place here, how many of you, and I want, let's be honest about this, how many people are prepared to shelter in place for a month, 6 weeks? Do you have the food and stuff like that in place right now, ready for that? The answer is probably 95% of people. Well, realistically, and this is according to the Red Cross, 95% of the people in this country, the United States of America, are not prepared for a 2-week disaster. So let's extend that out 4 weeks, 6 weeks. Now you're sheltering in place because everybody's infected and you're scared and you don't want to go out of your house. What are you eating? What are you drinking? How prepared are you for those type of situations? That's something to really, really think about. So that's a huge, huge thing. Very, very huge. So I think people need to think about that. What have you had? And so I'm going to talk about food for a second.